Sláinte do buckaroos. How the heck are you? I'm going to have a couple martinis with you and talk a little bit about my day. Kind of do this one off the cuff, a little impromptu. But anyway, we're going to start with Duffy's Run Vodka at 90 proof from Restless Spirits. In fact, both spirits that I'm using for a martini are from Restless Spirits out of North Kansas City, Missouri. So I try to get this fixed real quick. Well, this will work. Yep. There we are. Get that fixed real fast, and then we'll keep going. There we go. Now we're back in business. Anyways, I digress. Hi, I am Tom, the Martini Whisperer for tonight's video. I did go out a little bit this evening, though. I went out to see some blues with a legendary blues artist, Scott Ellison, out of the Tulsa area. This guy is just amazing. I hadn't seen him for several years. I talked to him a couple days ago. I mean, he's right at 70 years old, and you would never know it, man. The man is just amazing, I gotta tell you. But anyway, so the first spirit up, yes, is the Duffy's Run. It's a 90 proof vodka. I've got a dirty martini. It means I've used just a little olive juice, the Duffy's Run vodka, and a couple feta stuffed olives, as I have right here, and cilantro. We're just going to get right to it. Man. You know, I'm not a big vodka guy or a clear spirit guy, to be honest with you, or even a martini, but every once in a while, there's something about a martini that just sounds good. So, man, I'm in the mood for a martini. I was kind of feeling it this evening as I got home because I had 3 beers over there this evening. I kind of spaced out over a period of time, but I got to where I just knew I wasn't going to be able to drink any more beer. I wanted something light, and a martini just sounded good. Known more as aperitif than a digestive, means, you know, most people think of it more as early in the day than as an end of the day drink. But I was kind of really feeling it. The vodka for the first one, but the second one I went a different direction. You don't necessarily you can make a martini any way you want. You don't have to use vodka, gin, or even a clear liquor. But I had this product as I'm getting near the end of this Padraig's Rebellion. This stuff is just gorgeous. So I did a martini with it as well. That's my second martini. But since it's a little bigger spirit, I thought we'd save it for the second martini because I didn't want to overpower the first. Not really in this nice cigar lounge behind me, if some of you haven't figured it out yet. That people tell me, I can tell you're not really there, Tom. I'm not trying to fool anybody, man. I've never tried to fool anybody. Just try to create a mood is all. My poor man's green screen, if you will. Oh, mercy, Percy. How the heck are you? Been doing very well myself. I shedded, got rid of my main day gig a little while back now, and now I'm feeling out a new role at another place, and I'm really feeling good about it. My stress level has come down very much. Yeah, it was nice to. So my son Seamus and I, this is a tough month for me because we lost our son Seamus to cancer, April 23rd of 2013. So the whole as this month goes, I get more emotional. But Seamus and I love to go see live music together. Seamus and I saw Scott Ellison, I don't know how many times over the years, probably 4 or 5. And he was a big fan. Getting back in the habit of going to live music has been I don't know what the right word is. Struggle, difficult. It's just it's emotional. Is probably the best word. It's been emotional. Sometimes I can do it. Sometimes I can't. Like I said, grief doesn't run on a straight line. Just because you've done something at one time doesn't mean the next time you're going to do it, everything's going to be okay. So yeah, grief doesn't run on a straight line. So you've kind of got to take things. People, well, you did that already. Why does it bother you now? Well, because it just does. And that's kind of how grief works. It's unpredictable. It doesn't run on a straight line. But it was nice today. I saw Scott Ellison from I think it was 2017 at Nathan P. Murphy's. It was about 4 years after we lost Seamus, and that was the first time I'd seen him, and it was rather emotional. But we've been through some things since then, and it was nice. It was all I kind of felt like Seamus was with me today. I had a friend come out, join me out there, and I met another another friend that I didn't expect to show up showed up out there. So that was kind of cool. Then I run to a really old friend, Dr. Bob, came out to the show, and that was a lot of fun too. So it was nice in a lot of ways. I got to talk to Dr. Bob and his wife Wanda, Dr. Scott Ellison. Thanked me several times, and well, it was a nice experience, man. Which will probably make other experiences easier. The big test for me is coming up next month on my birthday. I'm seeing a band that Seamus, or two bands that Seamus and I never saw together, but it was there are two bands he was aware of. Not necessarily fans of, but he loved that classic rock. So the thing is, I know this was if he was here with us today, be this show being on my birthday, I know this was a show we would have gone together. And that was kind of where I was when in the decision making process of buying tickets for the show for the Saxon Uriah Heep. Said, "Can you do it?" Well, the truth is, if the show was on May 20th or on the 23rd or the 25th, I wouldn't have gone. But since it was directly on my birthday, it almost felt like a moral imperative, right? It felt like I really, really had to go, and I feel like I at that moment I bought the tickets. I felt like he was right there beside me when I hit that button to buy the tickets. I know it sounds crazy, but hell, man, I don't know what's out there. I don't know if there's a God. I don't know if there isn't. And I guess that's part of my issue with folks on either side that are so sure one way or the other, because none of us know anything, and I don't know why we don't have the ability to just say, "Hell, I don't know." Um, do I believe in the God of the Bible? Honestly, no, I don't. The Bible is a book of some nice stories and some really screwed up ones, and I think people tend to pick and choose what they want to believe based on their own bigotry. They use the Bible to justify their bigotry and ignorance. Well, God says this. No, God didn't really say that. That's just a man who wrote down what he wanted you to believe 2,000 something years ago. The fact that you're still stupid enough to believe that is unbelievable, but that's a story for another day. But the truth is, well, my opinion is, let me say that. My opinion is that I've seen things and I've felt things over the years that would make me think there is something out there. Do I think it's the God of the Bible? No, I think it's some nice stories, but do I think there is something, a higher power, another dimension, maybe? Hell, I don't know. But I like to think there's more than this. It's like those that believe, there isn't any other life anywhere else. Well, if there isn't, it seems like an incredible waste of space because there are infinite number of galaxies out there. Gotta hope there's other life out there, or what the hell is all that out there for? And we may never coexist between one galaxy to the next. But I sure like to believe there's something better out there than what we've chosen to accept, as this is all there is. Sometimes I get a little philosophical when I start thinking about my son. Uh, Almost everybody that met Seamus, especially older folks, always described him as an old soul. They would talk to him thinking, I know when he first met members of his Pedal the Cause team, they talked to him, they'd have conversations, and they talked to me later. I said, "Oh my God, how is he so intelligent?" I said, "I don't know. You've met me. Obviously, I'm no genius. I don't know how he came about it. He was born a specific way. So you've done an amazing job as a parent. He's such a great kid." I said, "I would love to take credit for it. I really would." But he's just the way he's always been. Oh, I'm not saying there wasn't challenging moments, but I mean, he always seemed more wise than his years would. You would think from somebody of that particular age, I guess. But yeah, I was thinking about it today. I was watching the show, especially when I was with my friend Craig earlier, and then another gentleman, Tony, showed up, and yeah, it was interesting. And Scott, asked me, and anyways, so the next month on my birthday, I will turn 59 this year. So I'm going to see Uriah Heep and Saxon. Now I'm going to be honest with you. I'm familiar with Uriah Heep and Saxon. I am. I had a good friend back in the '80s. I was a big fan of Saxon. I know these bands, but neither one were necessarily particular favorites. They weren't in my top five per se. I mean, I knew of my like certain songs. Who doesn't like Steelin'? It's a great tune. Who doesn't like Easy Living? It's a great tune. Um, Uriah Heep songs. Denim and Leather, Wheels of Steel. I mean, Saxon had some great tunes too, but they never quite hit that upper echelon. So why was it so important? I don't know, to be honest with you, other than the show was right on my birthday. And I know if he was right here with me today, that would be a show he probably would have just bought the tickets and said, "Dad, you're going for your birthday." So I bought them for myself and said, "I'm going for my birthday." So before I bought the tickets, I asked my wife. I said, I explained to her the thing. I said, it's right on my birthday. I said, "What should I do?" She says, "I think you should go." I said, "You don't mind if I buy the ticket?" She says, "Well, do I have to go?" I said, "No." That She says, "Then you can go." It's certainly not something she would enjoy, so she would want to go. And then when I tell people uh, they say, "Who are you going with?" And I'm going by myself. They act sad. Oh, don't be sad. I kind of enjoy being by myself. I know I'm going to run into at least a small handful of people that I know, anywhere between two and a half dozen, to be honest with you, is a possibility. But even if I don't run into anybody, I'm okay with that. I really am. I don't mind doing things. In fact, I've always liked doing things by myself. I think that's why a lot of my family members and friends, distant relatives, always thought I was a little odd because the things they needed to have somebody to go to, I've never needed that. I've never minded going anywhere by myself. I've never minded going to a bar by myself. I never mind going to a concert by myself. I've never minded going to a movie by myself. In fact, sometimes I've enjoyed doing those things alone. It allows you time for reflection. So, anyways, so I'm kind of excited about those things. But I tend to get a little introspective in April. Yeah. It tends to do that to me, especially when the memories come up on Facebook as we were going through specific things. Right about now, we get through Easter. Easter was our last good day. He was feeling really good Easter, and they were thinking about sending us home, or he said he was feeling good. He didn't tell us till the day after Easter that he hadn't been feeling good for a couple days, and then started running some tests, and that's when things kind of went awry on us, and we found out the cancer was back. Uh, so faith, that brings me back to faith again. we lost Seamus. I hate certain phrases, right? Well, maybe you didn't do this, maybe you didn't do that, or when somebody survives cancer, they were a fighter. That it kind of implies that somebody that doesn't survive cancer didn't fight hard enough, and that really irritates me because I know the boy fought hard. I know Seamus really did, but there came a point where I mean, at some point, it doesn't matter how hard of a fighter you are. You have nothing to do with the outcome. It is going to be how it's going to be. So I did what every parent probably does. I mean, I did my bit. I mean, I bargained with God. I begged and I pleaded. Uh, I had hoped he would, hey, let me just, let me just swap places. You take me, send me to wherever you think I deserve to be, and let Seamus do what he needs to do. Because this is an intelligent individual. This is somebody who can really make things better on Earth. And that was the hardest thing for me to deal with, to be honest with you, is that why would God take somebody, if there is a God, why would that God take somebody that can really make a difference? Somebody who has the ability to bring people together. Why would you take somebody like that? What kind of God, if we have a just God, which there's never been any proof that we do, what kind of God would do something like that? So, yeah, I did have my crisis of faith, I suppose, after that. And I've come to the conclusion for myself anyway. Like I said, there's nothing I'm going to say that's going to change anybody's minds on either side of that argument, whether you believe in the God of the Bible or you're an atheist and you believe none of that. There's nothing I'm ever going to tell you that's going to change anybody else's mind. But what I will say is that I know I have seen things and I have felt things and I don't know. There's just things I am aware of. That are enough for me to believe there's something else out there. Do I think the Bible is a work of nonfiction? No, of course it's not. It's a work of fiction. It was written by a whole lot of ignorant people to control the masses at the time. And the fact that it is still working today is rather bewildering, to be honest with you. The fact that people will still take certain words and say, oh, we hate these people because God said. Well, God didn't say that. Some ignorant man 2,000 plus years ago said that. You're using that to justify your bigotry and ignorance and hatred. You want to be an asshole. You're saying, oh, it's okay that I'm an asshole because it says right here. No, that book was written. I mean, it's an archaic book. It does absolutely no good at this point in time. I don't even know. It's just totally bizarre to me. But am I an atheist? Do I think nothing exists? No, I'm not, because I do think there's something else out there, whether it's a God per se. Hell, whether it's gods, whether it's another dimension, hell, I don't know. But there are certain things that I've felt and witnessed that make me think there's something else. But there's nothing that I'm going to say that's going to convince anybody on the other side of that argument. Do I think there was a virgin birth? No, I do not. I honestly don't. Uh, do I think Moses walked on water? So I'm not going to just pick on the New Testament. No, I don't. I think these are all made up stories. There's a reason why um, they are laid out the way they are or were. They were meant to control the masses at the time. The fact that there are some people still ignorant enough to believe that 2,000 years later is rather bewildering, other than the fact that people have not gotten smarter. That's all I'm going to say about that. No, you don't believe that, do you? Of course I'm going to say more about it. But anyway, that's kind of where I get really, uh, I get philosophical, I get emotional, I get a lot of things. Is again because I'm remembering what happened, you know, 11 years ago, this date 11 years ago, tomorrow, the next day, up until the 23rd, when we lost him for good. I just kept thinking there was going to be a miracle, and it just didn't happen. I kept doing everything I thought I should do. We had one Hail Mary pass. And we didn't know if it was going to help or not, but we thought we would have that. Thought we would find out if it was going to help. Um, in the past, I've been reluctant to say the name, but the truth is, I mean, facts are facts, and it can be looked up. Um, if anybody ever wants to question me, they can look up that group of doctors. But I have an issue with St. Jude's. St. Jude says they help everybody; they never turn any child down. Well, that's not true. It's not true. Saint Jude's had he was going to Children's Hospital in St. Louis. He wasn't at St. Jude's, but St. Jude's was running a new trial, and whether it would have helped Seamus or not, we don't know. And they didn't have to help, and they didn't, but they had the ability to. They had there's what is called compassionate use. They had the ability to let the doctors at our hospital use their protocols, what they were using for that particular study. Now, because if Seamus wasn't part of that study, if they said they would help, it wouldn't have skewed their 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 test one way or the other. So all they had to do was say yes. Our doctors would have given it one last shot. That was our shot. He was going to die. He was dying. It was over for us. That was our last Hail Mary, and we were told that St. Jude's had the ability to help. But we thought, oh, this is great. St. Jude says they never tell anybody no, and then we get called in, and they tell us St. Jude's turned us down. Now, I will say that they didn't have to, you know. But if you're going to be an organization that says you help everybody and you don't turn any child down, well, you're a liar and you're a hypocrite, because they had the ability to help us and they chose not to. Now, it may not have helped Seamus, but if they offered us those protocols and Seamus died anyway, I would say nothing but praises about St. Jude's for allowing them to at least try. St. Jude's had the ability to do that, and if Seamus died, it wouldn't have skewed their results at all, but they turned us down. So I've got nothing for them. So don't ever send me anything. Don't ever talk to me about the good and love of St. Jude's, because I got nothing. If I don't say anything hateful, the truth is, most of the time, I have the ability just to walk away from the conversation. But if you catch me at a particular moment, I will tell you the exact truth, and I know people don't want to hear it. And some of them won't even believe it. But once again, the truth is the truth. They had the ability to help, and they chose not to. So I've got nothing for them. So Marlo Thomas and her 1,000 facelifts can go do whatever she needs to do to herself. Her and Phil Donahue can go fuck off to wherever they want to go fuck off to, and never send me any of their stuff again. I hate when I get that shit in the mail. I take it right to the trash. I don't necessarily discourage people from donating to them, because they have done good work. They have. But if anybody asks me what my opinion of that organization is, I am going to tell them our personal experience. In my opinion, there are better organizations to give your money to. Pedal the Cause being one of them, because Pedal the Cause will take your money, every single cent of it, and donate it to cancer research. They won't line their pockets and sell you lies. Anyways, there you go. Tom, you got a little bitter tonight. Yeah, sometimes it happens. Is it the vodka? Is it the pochino? I don't know. The truth is, sometimes I just got to get this stuff out. Seamus's doctors were great. I have no ill will for anybody at St. Louis Children's Hospital. It wasn't their fault he died. I mean, things happen. They tried everything they could. They even threw that Hail Mary pass. Uh, it was St. Jude's that turned it down. They tried everything they could do, and he had great doctors, and things just didn't go our way. But if anybody knows my story and never asked me to donate to St. Jude's, I'm likely to hit them fucking square in the nose. If I know you're aware of my situation and ask me anyway. Ugh. But I encourage anybody to please look up Pedal the Cause. That is a true humanitarian organization. They're not a glory hound organization like I think St. Jude's is. I mean, look at Marlo Thomas. She doesn't even look like herself anymore. Phil Donahue. Um, I mean, listen. I'm not denying that they've done some good work, but I'm denying it's been a lot about publicity too. You know, they certainly like to, the camera on them. Let's just say that. But if you want to support an organization that actually is doing something to eradicate cancer, then I suggest Pedal the Cause, because every cent you donate will go towards cancer research and not to some hack actress's next facelift. Anyway, I digress. But I did have fun tonight, though. I will tell you, it was very nice to get out there. I didn't expect my one friend Craig to come out there because I know it's not necessarily his kind of music, you know. But the truth is, he just came out to hang out with a friend, and that's nice because I haven't had that in quite some time either. And then somebody I'd met through work, Tony came out because I told him about it. He's a blues fan. And he came out, and that was nice too, just hanging out with folks and relaxing. And then Scott came out and talked to us, and then another old friend, another Springfield legend, I should say, Dr. Bob Martin, the owner of Nathan P. Murphy's here in town. He had a radio show running for a long time. Dr. Bob, uh, God, he was out there. I mean, I just ran into some old friends I didn't expect to run into, and it was just a great time. So, anyways, I digress. Damn, that's nice. This poutine makes a nice martini. It really does. And that's not what it was designed for, obviously, but it really does. This stuff is so gorgeous. This is my second bottle. I bought two bottles back in August, and I've got this much left. And when I finished that first bottle, I thought about aging the second, because it's 100% malted barley. That's why this stuff is so beautiful. It's 100% malted barley. So I thought about aging it myself to see what I could come up with, but the truth is, it is so beautiful the way it is. I just left it alone. I've got a little bit left. Anyways, I digress. I am Tom, the Martini Whisperer this evening. Thanks for listening to my ramblings and musings and humble opinions. Uh, we're just going to skip to the end and say all around good guy and slunger.